All right, hello again and welcome to another Ohm hacking session. So last time we were working on this new feature that I want to add to make it possible to embed comments inside of grammars that contain examples. So this is inspired by Python doc strings. We talked about this in the last video, doctest, which is this feature, this module in Python that you can use that lets you embed examples in your comments, and the module can then parse out those examples and execute them to make sure that they actually work. So we want to add something similar to Ohm, that within a grammar, so here's one of our tests that we wrote. Within a grammar, we can write some examples of certain inputs that should be successfully parsed or not. And so we got partway there last time. So what we have right now is we have a new grammar that inherits from the built-in Ohm grammar. And what we're doing with this grammar so far is just extracting a list of rules, extracting an object that looks like this. So an object containing objects, and the first level we have grammars. So because you can stick multiple Ohm grammars in the same source, we're going to support that in the return value for this object as well. And then, so you have one object for each grammar that you have in your source, and within that object you have the keys are the rule names, and the values are the comments that occurred before that rule. Now, I think last time we discussed whether we would allow single line comments or whether we would force it to be multi-line comments, so that there was kind of a single comment that came before the rule. I don't remember what I decided there. It looks like we're supporting sort of multiple single line comments, no problem. So I think the next thing I want to do here is I want to strip off like all of the white space that occurs at the beginning of every line, because this is kind of annoying if you have like these comments. I mean, if we want to match on some particular syntax, we're not going to want all this junk at the beginning of every line. So I think that's the next thing I would do. So I'm going to change this test so that it returns something like, what do we want? A string maybe with like that, where we strip off like any white space leading up to the comment, and then a slash and a space. Yeah, let's try that for now. Although I'm not quite sure how well that's going to work, or what approach we want to take for multi-line comments, because they will have something different. They will have just white space at the beginning and no slashes. Okay, so anyways, let's start with this. Let's go back to the operation we wrote called get rules with comments, and let's change it so that it strips off the crap that we don't want. So let's see, we're getting the source string of all the comments. Maybe I think I might define another operation here. So this is something I do a lot in Ohm, is define these kind of helper operations. Yeah. Stripped comment or comment stripped or something. Stripped source. Sure, let's call it stripped source. All right, and so what kind of nodes are we going to call this? I mean, I could just define a helper function here too, I guess. Depends a little bit. There's no real disadvantage to defining the operations, these little helper operations. They're just 2 more lines of code. So let's leave it like this. So I see I'm trimming. Yeah, I mean, I could just call this trimmed source string. Stripped source string. Trimmed maybe makes it, if I call it trimmed, it might make it sound like all I'm doing is calling trim. Okay, so we have single line comments and multi-line comments. Okay, so this is actually where it's handy to, I think, to define this as a helper operation instead of just a helper function, because now we can kind of pattern match on the type of the node. So we can actually handle single line comments here, and comment multi-line. And let's see, I have to figure out the arity of this, which is a little bit hard to parse out. Let's see, 1, 2, because the look ahead doesn't count towards the arity. 2, the positive look ahead. 3. Yeah, gosh, this rule wasn't really written in such a way that we expected to be able to write semantic actions against it. But yeah, so we have whatever, we have the slash or the so we have the 2 slashes. Let's just call it slashes. Comment char iter, because we're going to have an iteration node over any character that's not a new line. And then finally we do a look ahead to the new line, which we don't really care about. Let's just call this underscore then. All right. Okay, so we have what do we want to do? Comment char iter. So this will not, okay, so by default here, we very easily discarded the slashes. We'll still have some bleeding space. I think we can just trim this whole thing, trim all of these characters. So we want to do children.map. How do we want to do this? Each one returns their sort, or actually, why don't I just do what I'm doing up here, which is called source string on the iteration node, and then call trim. Right, I think that's We don't have any multi-line comments right now, so we don't need to write that action. But it wants us to have the correct arity. Okay, let's see. Well, we didn't use this operation anywhere, so no surprise that the test doesn't work yet. Okay, so these are rule comments nodes. And spaces, no comment. We don't really care about the spaces, do we? So I think I will match on rule comments here too, so that I can just call stripped source string here. Never mind. Sorry, I'm iterating. I'm iterating over rule comments because we're inside here. So I still want to do child.I. All right, it's returning undefined. That's not surprising because it's calling this action, which has nothing in the body. Okay, then we want to just return comment dot stripped source string, I think, and rule comments. Right, this is a comment iter, so this could be one or more, or zero or more. Sorry, single line comments. Say, we're going to join them all up. Okay, so what do I want to do? Comment iter children.map. Maybe. And and then we need to join them. This is join them with a new line. Okay. Not entirely sure that's always going to do the right thing, to be honest. Though I guess we know they have to be separated by a new line here. Still don't know what multi-line comments are going to do. Let's just put a fix me in there. Oops. And we'll see. Okay, so all right, so now we've stripped off the junk that we had at the beginning of the comment, which is good. All right, and now what we want to do, I think, is look for, so now we actually want to start looking for this text. So examples, and then lines starting with a dash and a space. Yeah, and then so let's see. So we probably actually want to write this into the grammar, I think. Alternatively, we could write a new grammar, you know, that we match separately, but I don't see the reason. I don't see any need to do that. So I would just, I'm just going to write in this the pattern for matching examples like right into the grammar, right? So we actually probably want to add to this probably want to add to this and make it, you know, maybe add a new type of comment. Or yeah, this is a little bit weird because for single line comments, maybe we do want to enforce the multi-line comment, because for single line comments, then you will have this this pattern that's broken up across multiple comment nodes. So we can't actually, you know, as long as we're matching individual single line comments, we can't really write the pattern inside that, because it's kind of like different parts that would be broken up across different single line comments. Let's see. So we could actually go up to the rule comments here and change this to, you know, we could push the iteration into, so, you know, we could do something like this. How would I want to do this? I don't know whether it belongs before or after, but you know, we could push the iteration into this so that, you know, it's looking for something like this, followed by, you know, one or more lines beginning with this, and you know, push the iteration down into this, into the comment rule. Then it's a little bit weird. It's a bit unclear to me whether we actually would want to allow multiple of those. Seems like you kind of only want to have one. So maybe yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Why don't we try this? Why don't we try? Okay, so let's write a test. I'm kind of happy with get rules with comments for now. Let's just rename, like we're just exporting it as temp. Ooh, what? Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go back. Where was my grammar that I broke? Okay. Let's leave get rules with comments right now. I think I might just duplicate this for the time being. How do I want to do this? I want to go write a new test. Let's start with that. Don't know why I had this stuff commented out. I don't think I care about it right now. So let's write another test. Okay. I don't know, this is maybe silly. I maybe could just go ahead and modify this. But I just want to hold what I have here before I get rid of it. Okay, great. So what do we want to do in this second test? We just want to make sure it does the same thing, right? But we're going to rewrite the grammar. Yeah, we're going to rewrite the grammar to parse out examples. So an example comment will always begin like that. Followed by what? Any number of spaces, then a new line. Spaces no comment, yes. Spaces no comment. We don't want to look ahead to the new line. We actually want to parse the new line. I think we'll actually, we're going to probably factor this out into its own rule, but let's leave it like this for now. Okay. Then you have a new line. Then we have one or more bullet comments, let's call them. Right? We need, it's not a valid example comment, I think, if we don't have at least one bullet comment. Okay, bullet comment is not declared, right? So a bullet comment begins with comment, right? Maybe we should really call this an example comment because it's more than just the bullet that we care about here. Spaces no comment. Is nullable. So we can't stick it inside of a star. Because it'll just loop forever. But we can do that, which is anyways what we want. What is spaces no comment? Anyways, don't need any kind of repetition there. Okay, so an example comment begins with a // a space, a hyphen, a space, and then a backtick. And then we have the example itself. Let's see, we just want, okay, yeah, we don't need to, oh, shoot, we need to escape the backticks here. I think in a raw string we have to escape backticks. Let's take a look at this. We must have to escape backticks, right? Yeah. And I think we do it like that. Hang on, we need to make this a string. It's a little bit messy. The raw strings are nice, except when we have backticks. I mean, I could write this into a new rule, which maybe makes it a little bit easier to visually parse. Doing something wrong here? I think this is correct. Oh yeah, I mean this backtick. Okay, let's try this again. Then we have not backtick followed by any, and we can have all of that up to the new line. What's interesting is that an example comment, yeah, let's make it the same. Like an example comment actually technically can't appear at the end of yeah, I mean, you can't, we don't need end, right? Because you can't stick an example comment outside of a grammar at the end of the file. It's meaningless. So you have to have a new line. Right, and at some point we need a backtick again. Okay. This looks good to me. Ish. And why? Ah. Okay. Yeah, this is tricky. So, yeah, here's what we want. Right? In the Ohm grammar, we want double quotes surrounding a single backtick. Maybe this would be better to, yeah. Oh, but we're in a raw string. We can't even use Unicode escapes. But I could use Ohm's Unicode escape here for a backtick. Yeah, this is a bit messy. I might actually use Ohm's Unicode escape for a backtick. Because what we have here, right? So everything, so the double quote backtick, double quote will get put as is into the Ohm grammar. The single quotes here are JavaScript because we're inside of a string interpolation. What is 96? And Ohm uses the same escapes, so I think if I want to print it as a hex, yeah. So, sorry. Needs to be inside a string. Yes, okay. So there's our backtick in case we want a cleaner way of doing it. Which kind of is sort of nicer. Again, Ohm wants it also inside of quotation marks. Great. All right, so I think this works, and I think we want this, yeah, we want this to be attempted before a single line comment. Yeah. Okay, I think we might want to refactor this. Definitely want to refactor this later, but I'm happy enough with this as is. Okay, I'm going to go paste this into the Ohm Editor. I just want to see how this is parsed. How some of these examples are parsed. Oh, of course, yeah, that's too bad. I really should make it possible to write grammars that inherit from the Ohm grammar, but I mean, to make it possible to work in the Ohm Editor, but it is not possible. Okay, let's see if this actually parses any comments. I think if we just do something like this, it should let's just do this way, huh? Yeah. So this actually, so what I was actually expecting to happen was that one of our operations would throw an error because we're missing a semantic action for the example comment, or for this comment underscore examples. Right, because for example, we're calling strip source string on one of the ancestors here, which should end up calling these actions. I would expect that we then, yeah, if one of these was successfully parsing, then we would get a failure here. Like we would see an exception from this action. So this means that that is not actually parsing correctly. So let's just write ourselves some little tests. Did I export the grammar? I did not. With examples. Okay, so what I want to do is to write, whoops, Ohm with examples dot match. Yeah, that's fine. Blah. And we can call match and we can pass in the actual rule names. So do you want example comment? Yeah, it's kind of funny, but I'm going to trim this. And then we want it to match example comment. And then we better assert something. Okay, so yeah, it's failing to match example comment. Let's figure out why. Oh, no, I want to match comment underscore examples. Still not matching. Okay. Why? Let's see. The space is no comment. Okay, let's see what happens if I and let's print out an error. Let's capture the match results here and assert.ok_r.succeeded and r.message. We'll print out the message so we can see where it's failing to match. Interesting. It looks like it's never seeing, it's not matching the new line for some reason. Because it's expecting to find a new line. So something else is consuming the new line. Spaces, no comment. Right. Spaces, no comment is consuming the new line. And that's not what we want. We want spaces, no new line. Expected end of in. Yeah, okay. All right. So this is better. It is it matched the examples thing. Right, and again, spaces no comment is actually what we want here, I think. Right, because we actually want to consume the new line. I guess one open question here is, do we care if there's really a new line here? Like, is it valid? Right. I mean, we kind of do, right? Like, I don't want... Okay. Spaces no new line will... Yeah, okay. We want to explicitly match the new line there. Now it's expecting... Okay, looks like we've got something wrong in our example comment. So sometimes this is handy, having an anything but rule. And I'll do that. And why don't I just stick the... do it like this. All right, but why isn't that working? It's doing a look ahead to a new line. The anything but is not consuming. Okay. What did I have there? Let's go back. Let's bring back our backtick rule. Yeah, I forgot the opening backtick here. So we want a backtick. Then anything but backtick, and then a backtick. And we look ahead to a new line, and my test is failing because we don't have a new line. It's It's always going to trim off the new line. Let's add it on. Okay. Expected end of input. We're not consuming the new line. Yeah, we're just looking ahead to the new line. Example comment should actually consume the new line, I guess. Our single line comment doesn't consume the new lines. Yeah, okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's to make this test green, we should consume the new line. Ultimately, it will get consumed. And now I'm seeing the failure that I was expecting, which is that we're missing a semantic action for strip source string for comment examples, comment underscore examples. So let's write that semantic action. Comment underscore examples, wrong arity, expected 5, got 3. Okay, so what do we have here? Don't care, spaces, spaces, spaces. Yeah, oh, this is a little bit ugly, but it'll be okay for now. So essentially, we have 4 parameters that are all just stuff we can throw away. And then we actually have the examples, right? And then we're going to have a list of, yeah, example item, maybe we should call this. I don't care. Where are we? Okay. So what do we have? You know, we have the beginning, spaces, new line, spaces. Maybe example comp. Yeah, whatever. I was going to say maybe example comment should parse spaces at the beginning, but this is one of those cases where it may actually make sense to have a syntactic rule here. So generally in Ohm, you know, so syntactic rules are the rules that begin with a capital letter, and they have implicit space skipping between, you know, between the different parts of the rule. This is something we talked about a lot in the last video because it was a little bit tricky. We had to use this lexification operator here to address the implicit space skipping. And then we have these lexical rules, which are rules that begin with a lowercase letter. And yeah, the problem is inside of a lexical rule, you need to do a lot of manual space skipping, which can be kind of annoying. And that's one of the problems we're having here. This is one of the places, this is kind of when you have embedded syntaxes, this is one of the places where, this is why we added the apply syntactic rule. So in ES6 template strings, this is another place. So basically, you know, a string literal is normally would be a lexical rule because of the fact that string literals can then contain JavaScript expressions, which you want to be a syntactic rule. Yeah, it's a bit of a special case. Doesn't happen very often. This is a little bit similar because, again, we have sort of this high-level syntax embedded in something that is typically kind of, you know, a token, effectively, of some other grammar. So it might actually make sense to use the apply syntactic rule here, and then we can avoid some of this, all this space skipping. But anyway, so we have, you know, okay, I'm just going to do, I'm lazy here. I'm going to do something like this. There's 4 things I recall that we throw away here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the example comments. And I will call this example comment iter. So I always like to, whenever we have an iteration node, at least in JavaScript, TypeScript, it's a little bit different because it's hard to, not as easy to lose track of what type your arguments are. But whenever we have an iteration node, I like to tag iter onto the end of the name so that I know in my head that when I look at this that that it is an iteration node. Okay, so example comment iter, and then we'll have a bunch of these example comments. Let's call stripped source string on them, right? So children.map stripped source string. I don't know though. I mean, really at this point, I'm not sure that stripped source string is really that interesting to us. We want to probably write an even higher level, more meaningful operation here that actually extracts out the comments, right? Stripped source string was kind of a crutch, but we don't care about the stripped source string. What we care about is the comments. So I think I'm going to rewrite this operation. And I think I'm going to take a little break and get a snack. Yeah, so I was saying before I took a break for a snack that I think this stripped source string is really not all that interesting. This was useful for us as kind of a stepping stone, but it's not really useful now. Instead, what we want is an operation that returns examples, right? So we'll add an operation called examples. And we want to return, I think, probably an array of examples. Maybe an array of arrays or array of pairs, basically, because for every example we need to know, should it pass or should it match or should it not match? Anyways, let's go. So rule comments, we just call examples on the children and then concat them. Or call flat, right? Or we could flat map, I guess. Then, okay, for comment examples, for each child, we will ask for its examples, and again, we will flat map them. Probably I'm going to screw up somewhere here, and we're going to have some nesting that we didn't want, but that's okay. All right, so I mean, I guess it's worth pointing out that the way we've implemented this right now, you have to use single line comments. So / comments. And you're not allowed to use multi-line / comment, but that's fine for now. I was just reminded of that because of this error that we threw in here at the multi-line comment. Right, but we need to implement, basically we needed to implement examples for these 3 child rules. These are in these are inline rules because they have this little case label case name at the end. All right, so that looks useful. Let's actually change this test that we were adding here. Okay, we were just doing, why don't I just export the semantics? Okay. Okay, this should, it's not actually passing default action for comment examples, comment. Oh, yeah, we didn't finish writing this rule. I'm silly. Okay. We also have to deal with this is kind of the leaf node that's actually going to give us what we want. It's going to actually return an example. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that we don't care about, and the one in the middle is the one that we do care about. Right, so everything inside the backticks there. So it's what? Bullet, open, close, and then what was it? The new line? Or yeah, and then the new line. And then here is, let's just call it contents. And what do we want to do with that? So we want to return a new array, contents.sourceString, right? Oops. Should be, why is this not working? Still saying that it's missing a semantic action. Oh. Yeah, we're still calling, we don't care about this test anymore. It's a red herring. Okay. What is our test actually doing now? Okay, well, it's passing because it matches, and then we want to call examples, and then I think we should have something like this right now. We should have one example. S is not defined, right? Yeah, I want to get S from here. Yay, it works. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, I always like to have these little helpers to make my tests look a bit nicer. So we will do something like this. Match result equals Ohm with examples. We want to match the input. Right now we're still matching against the comment examples. Comment examples. Maybe we want to make this rule comments. Oops, if match result failed, Then we'll throw an error. Otherwise, we will return oops. The examples. And I don't know how to spell function. Okay. I don't think I need to trim this anymore. Right, and this should return blah. Okay. Ooh, kind of ugly formatting there. I can probably stick this in one line. Okay, whoops. Hey, where did I'm always accidentally inserting German characters. Oh no, where did seriously? Where did I insert this? It doesn't even tell me. Wonderful. Seriously, where did I insert this? I don't even know how to search for it. Command F. Ah, there we go. Ha! There it is. Okay. Oh my god, I don't know why. Don't know what I'm typing. And ESLint wants me to use single quotes. All right, ESLint is happy. I'm not quite happy because we didn't get the result that we wanted. Undefined. Rule comments is what we're matching on. Who is returning undefined here? Heh. Shouldn't be any way of... Ah, the expectation. Yeah, I make this mistake a lot. There we go. R is not defined. Yes. There we go. Okay. Cool. All right, let's add a few more examples here. Maybe I will add a multi-line one because I want to make sure that I can have more than one example. And see what ESLint thinks of this. There's another German character. ESLint doesn't like me, but it's so weird. What is that? Pressing Command Shift F. I don't know. Happens whenever I try to format the source code with, sorry, Alt Shift F. No idea. I'm using a new keyboard that I haven't used in a while, and I don't know, maybe I'm pressing something odd. Okay, and would you look at that? It's actually failing to match. It is actually failing to match. Yeah, again, there's sort of this weirdness that it doesn't want any. It wants a hard new line. This will all go away. Like, this is just a peculiarity of the fact that we're just matching on rule comments right now, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I thought we needed to have a new line at the end for some reason. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not parsing this properly. I think we do need a new line, and then it's actually failing to parse. Then it's expecting to find another comment after this. Why would that be? Let's look at the grammar. One or more example comments. No, never mind. That's okay. So rule comments is excuse me. Rule comments as 0 or more comments. I see what happened. I think what's happening is that we're succeeding to match spaces no comment, of course. And then once that succeeds, well, it expects to match a comment. So I think that's why we're getting that error, and we have a bunch, but then, yeah. But then we have some trailing space. And so the match fails. How do I want to do this? I mean, I guess it's a bit weird if probably we want all of these different example rules to not consume the new line. So we probably want to change this to be a look ahead to a new line. Oh, this is getting messy. And then I can make this a list of, I don't know what difference it makes, but and all of our semantic actions. Whoops. Yes, of course. Needs to be the lexical version of non-empty list of. Oh, okay. So surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly. Oh, I see. Yeah, we do need to rewrite our actions. Well, we still have the same problem here. Oh, I think though. Right, like this should, like the others, be a look ahead to, yeah. It's kind of weird. It means, it doesn't, it's kind of weird, I guess, because it means that we do allow an example comment to be at the end of the file, which should not have any meaning. Maybe I should just stop testing it in this context with just the rule comment, because this is kind of an artificial context here. I also need to parse spaces in here, so we won't necessarily have a new line immediately after the backtick. Okay. What am I gonna do? Okay, I think I will stop. Yeah, this is just the artificiality of this is kind of annoying me. Let's stick this into a grammar. Then, and what is our grammar? So rule comments really should allow comments that come before the grammar too. That's something else that we want to add. But okay, let's do something like this. Can't type. So we'll just make an empty start rule and we'll insert the comment before that. Oops, what? And we'll match on the full input. Right, and then I need to implement a few more semantic actions. Grammars. And grammar. Maybe I want to go back to testing get rules with, maybe I want to get rules with examples here instead. Get rules with examples. And then we'll destructure it. And then this way we can have some nice simple examples, or like simple test cases. Okay, get rules with comments is not a function. Where am I calling get rules with comments? Am I calling get rules with comments? Oh, right, yeah. So, get rules with examples. We go through and for every rule, I think this is kind of doing the right thing. Okay. Then we'll call rule comments default action for comment. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're calling now examples on a rule comments node. And what is it complaining about? The default action for comment examples. This is now a list. We need to call as iteration on it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is overkill to split it into 2 lines. All right, cool. It's actually running our test. But again, it is, right, so this should have, with 3 O's, should be in our examples, and it's not. So why? Example comment list. Don't quite know why this is not working. I mean, I have a suspicion. That for whatever reason, we're only getting one of these. So let's look at comment underscore examples. And put in, just print how many children we have. Found one. Right. Okay. So our list of non-empty list of is not doing the right thing. Why? Spaces. Getting burned by spaces. I did say before that we need this to be. This is a really messy grammar. I have to, it's a pretty messy grammar. I definitely need some refactoring once we've got this passing spaces. And then we got to change the arity of this. And still only one. Why is that? Spaces, no comment. I see. Yeah, we got to embed this. Spaces, no comment before the example comment. I really think we actually should turn this into a semantic rule and use a syntactic rule, sorry. And that makes more sense. Examples, comment examples. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, wrong. Expected 7, got 6. Oh, did I totally edit the wrong thing before? Comment examples. Has one less. I needed to edit both of them. Comment examples has one less. And example comment list has one more. What did I do wrong? Example comment has the wrong arity. Expected 7, got 6. Right. Oh, come on. Comment examples has the wrong arity. Expected 4, got 5. 1, 2, 3, an example comment list. 1, 2, 3. An example comment list. 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Comment examples. That's the wrong arity. Expected 4. Got 5. No. Where? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong stripped source string. Why are we calling stripped source string? Nobody should be calling this anymore. We don't care about stripped source string. It's weird. I don't know how that was getting called. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Excellent. Let's see. Should throw if we have something like... No. Should it throw? It should not throw. Should be fine. Or will it fail to match? Is this what we want? I think it's going to fail to match. Let's see. Oh no, it should be fine, right? Because we have... If we have a malformed example list, it'll just parse it as a comment, which is exactly what we want. So that should work. Cool. All right, example comments. Then we're almost done, aren't we? Because, yeah, we're already calling get rules with examples. I mean, we're done modulo cleaning up this ugly grammar, but I might put that off for another day. There's a lot more we can do with this too once we've got it working, like actually testing the examples. Okay, should we test? Maybe I'll test a few other kind of corner cases. Let's see. Should work. Oh, yeah, sorry. We do have an example. Empty example is valid. And I wanted to try with some white space. And it looks fine. Cool, I dig it. Okay. Should I expand this a bit? What should I do? Maybe write a few more. Let's actually see if get rules with comments is working properly now. It is not. Didn't I get rules with comments? I think I have it over here. Oh, get rules with comments we don't care about anymore. Get rules with examples we want. And we'll do something like we're doing here. We'll just return this. Okay. Let's change this test to do get rules with examples. Yeah. Starting to think about whether it might be, whether we might want to use a different syntax. Oh yeah. It is kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying that we have to escape the backticks this way. I think it's pretty common. A lot of people will want to write their grammars surrounded by backticks. We want these example comments to look nice. So probably actually backticks is not what we want to use, right? We probably want to use single quotes or double quotes. Anyways, they're supposed to represent, I mean, they represent string literals. So backticks, yeah, I don't know why we would use backticks, and it just makes it a pain when your grammar is embedded. And I mean, it's super ugly if we have these x60 when your grammar is embedded in JavaScript like this. It wouldn't be, it's not a problem when you're using .ohm files, because we can just stick the raw backtick in there. But if you've got your grammar embedded in JavaScript and you're using backticks, yeah, this is ugly. So I think I'll change that. But let's see if this test is actually passing, and then maybe we'll call it a day. Who is calling get rules with comments? Okay. Yeah, okay. We just need to update our expectations here. This is working. I had this function extract examples. Do I want to do that? Do I want to use that? I don't know, because it doesn't matter too much. Maybe we can do a quick refactoring. Okay. So how do we want to do this? Ooh, if I want to change the, I'm thinking I want to change and not use backticks anymore. Wondering whether I want to say that you have to use single quotes or what? I mean, it's kind of annoying if you have to use single quotes. We need to probably, you know what I'm going to do is reuse the built-in Ohm rule for terminals, right? And just, means you have to use double quotes. Okay. It's probably fine. It's good because like then we can use the same escape characters, and you'll need to use escape characters. Yeah, it makes sense. I think we want to use the built-in terminal rule there. Okay, let's refactor this to, time is flying by. I think I'm going to call it quits for now. And yeah, I'm pretty happy. We got this working now, so we can parse a grammar and we can extract the examples for each rule from comments that precede each rule. Let's see, what do I want to do? I'll write myself a little to-do at the top here that I can refer back to. Just go on YouTube and find my to-dos. Let's see, so we want to refactor grammar to not use backticks. Use Ohm's terminal rule. Refactor to use apply syntactic. Clean up space skipping. Right, so we want to make, I think we want to make probably this here. We want to pull out and make that a syntactic rule so that we don't have all this manual space skipping. It gets really annoying. We want to add support for example comments. I want to add support for example comments for the default start rule. My thinking was, yeah, I think I like this. So any comment inside of a grammar, like if you open the grammar, like open the brace, any comments there will apply to the first rule. And if you want to just use the default start rule and you just want them to be examples for the grammar itself, you put that comment above the grammar. And we want to probably add tests for multiple grammars in the same file, and add a library that can. So I guess we probably want this whole thing to be, for now I'm going to make it a new library. We may eventually make this part of Ohm Core. So we'll probably have, it's probably going to be a library with basically 2 exports. One of them will be used by the Ohm Editor to extract. Actually, so one you need is to extract the examples, right? So the Ohm Editor can put them in the list. And then you need the ability to, like, you're going to also want to be able to test the examples. Now, arguably, we could leave that out. It's easy enough for someone to write by hand. But it's also would be kind of nice if we had it built in. I'll leave this as a question mark. Years ago, I would have always said that I want to add a function like this that would make things easier on people. I would generally lean towards doing it and including it in the library. Past few years, I'm more inclined to do the minimalist approach. Just means less code for me to maintain, fewer things that can have bugs, etc. But yeah, we'll see. I'm going to think about this. Yeah, I think I'm done for today. Let's see, maybe I'll record some of these other things, maybe not. But in any case, thanks for sticking with me, and maybe see you next time. Bye.